What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverseevolve video. Alright soldiers, in today's video we're going to be going over the Grand Showdown Someren recap updates that they gave us this past weekend. They dropped us with a whole bunch of information and we're going to be going over it in today's video. But before we get into it, I do want to apologize. Life definitely hit me on Saturday and I was not able to stream this event even though I was 100% planning on it, but life happens. But let's go ahead and get into the first bit of news here. Alright, so first order of business, we have our second anniversary release tournament. So as we get closer to the summer, that means the second year of Shadowverseevolve is coming around. So every summer, just make sure, we're always going to have an anniversary, because I remember in September when I picked up this game for the first time, and it wasn't really officially out yet, or at least it just had its starter decks, and I really enjoyed playing the demo for the game. The game was just very fun. And I'm really loving the fact of how far Shadowverseevolve has come. I remember playing this game in September, playing the demo and just enjoying the starter decks and whatnot. I picked up my first starter deck, and then my journey into making the content creation began there. So enough of me reminiscing about the old Shadowverseevolve days. Let's start talking about what's going to be coming up in the upcoming format. So between June 20th and July 20th in the sealed release format, you can get one of these 10 cards on the right here, and then if you win the whole entire release event, you can go ahead and get your Demonium Clash Devil promo. And I'm gonna be honest with you everyone, I'm not a huge fan of the promos. Like, I really did like the Trail of Light, I really enjoyed that alt art, but I am really liking these this time around. So if you're willing to pick up any of these, then go ahead and search them out, but they are going to be at the release tournaments. And on top of that, if you participate in these events, you can get a little flare in the Bushy Navi app. I think these are cool little things that you can get, little accessories that you can get on top of your account that can show you that, hey, I'm a veteran and seasoned player, so watch out for me when you see me in the Bushy Navi app. So I really do like that they do things like that. So if you're going to be participating in these second anniversary tournaments, look out for those things. Alright, and moving on into the next set of news, we have our Shadowverseevolve X Vanguard crossover set. And I remember hearing about this around set 3 or set 4 of Shadowverseevolve, I think. I know we finally heard it in JP, but we're finally getting an English Evolve, so I'm very excited to see what we've got going on here. We have our Sanctuary Knight Brigade, and then we have our Apocalyptic Fire starter decks that are going to be coming on August 15th. And if you guys want to buy Sparta a present, my birthday is in August, so hit me up. But anyway, when you get the starter deck, each crossover starter deck contains an exclusive bonus card pack featuring 3 alternative versions of 12 exclusive starter deck cards. And of course, as you're getting the starter deck, you will get an exclusive leader and you will be getting an exclusive evolution point card. Alright, so let's talk about some RNG soldiers. So we have our box topper bonus packs. Alright, so here are the alternative things that you can get out of your box topper. So we have our alt leaders, the thin ones that you can't scan on the Sidekick app that are not going to have the voice lines. I'm not 100% sure if they're English or Japanese, but either or, I really do like them. But unfortunately, I have not seen a single episode of Vanguard, so I probably will be watching that after I'm done catching up with Uma. And that's what I've been watching as the past recent, so I'm really excited for the Uma decks. I don't know if you guys have watched the previous videos where I've talked about Uma before, but Uma's on the rise. If you've been paying attention to the JP formats, Uma is going to be coming back. But back to Vanguard. And we're also going to have these evolution points that are going to be box toppers as well, that are key point visuals from the actual anime. Alright, so looking at the other box toppers were nice, but looking at the higher rarity box toppers that actually have the scannable thick leaders in them is probably what people are going to look forward to. And if any of you soldiers know me as well as I know myself, I'm going to be seeking out that Rune leader card as soon as I can, because that one looks absolutely astounding. But on top of that, we have the actual characters and their better forms for the thick leaders, and they're scannable. Like I said before, I'm not sure if they're going to be in English and Japanese. Either or, I'm going to enjoy it. And it looks like we have another evolution point, which looks like it's under development, but between now and August, we should definitely get an update on what this might look like. But yeah, soldiers, the crossover is confirmed. To make sure you have everything prepared for when August 15 drops, we have our crossover set. And I know it's going to hit the ground running, and there's going to be some amazing games to be had with our little crossover set. Alright, and next up we have our first little social event with our crossover. We have our Card Fight Vanguard Duo Tournaments. Alright, so I really do believe this is a perfect opportunity to get into Shadowverse Evolve, especially if you're in Vanguard and you're really deep into it, but you're not sure if you want to dip your toes into Shadowverse Evolve. I know there are some people that are still a little skeptical, like, oh, you know, the game's gonna die, or, you know, the game's not too popular, I'm really playing Vanguard, or whatever, you know, the naysayers say. I think this is just a good opportunity to go ahead and start, you know, dip your toes in and see if Shadowverse Evolve is what you really think it is. It's been around for 2 years. I think it's gonna be around for even longer. We have a good client that's on the way coming June. There's a lot going for Shadowverse right now, so I suggest, you know, just dip your toes in the water come August and see how you like it. But through August 15th and September 7th, you will be able to participate in these sealed tournaments. So you'll be forming teams of 2, which both of you will be choosing different starter decks to participate in, and everybody will be getting a Bellringer Angel Vanguard Sentinel. But I think this is a pretty neat idea to go ahead and get some Vanguard people into the Shadowverse Evolve realm, or, you know, the mix match of Shadowverse Evolve into Vanguard, because I'm going to be one of those Shadowverse Evolve players that doesn't really know too much about Vanguard. And of course, we're just getting started with the Vanguard news because we have our Card Fight Vanguard release tournaments. So to really celebrate the release of the crossover set, they're going to be having release tournaments from August 25th to September 25th, and all participants will receive a Promo Series 12 card pack and a little flare in the Bushy Navi app, while the champion gets the Glory Milestone promo. I don't know about all of you, but I'm really excited for this Vanguard release tournaments. I know I have a little bit of time, so I can probably brush up on my Vanguard like news or something like that. I know I have a couple of Vanguard friends that I've tried playing the game in the past, but now that we have this little crossover set, it seems that Vanguard has made its way back into my life, so I might dip my toes back in. But I'm really excited to see this Card Fight Vanguard crossover set that's going to be coming. I know by the time it gets here, I might have a little more knowledge when it comes to Vanguard, especially in the anime. I might pick up the leader that might be my favorite character by that time, so I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too. Alright, and on to the next set of news. We have Glory Finder starter decks for the 2 classes that got neglected when Glory Finder first got announced. Alright, and on July 25th, you will have access to the Luxheart Legends Glory Finder starter deck, which is the Forestcraft one that got very neglected when the first set of Glory Finder came out. And I'm not a huge Glory Finder player, and I'm glad they're really pushing this agenda. It just feels like there's a lot to cover when it comes to Glory Finder. So if I can find one deck that'll really just resonate with me that I can really rock with, I think I'll have my one good Glory Finder, because I rock the same way in Magic the Gathering. I just have one good commander deck, and I kind of just sit on that. Alright, and then we also have our exclusive legendaries for the Dragoncraft side, Treacherous Ambitions. And if I'm just gonna put my personal opinion in here, I think it's kind of crazy that we didn't already get exclusive Dragoncraft cards. If you know why, let me know in the comments below. But I think Dragoncraft is probably one of, if not the most popular class. I'd say the only one that's in high contender for it is Abysscraft, and that might be me just kind of talking crazy here, but I think Dragon is just a really popular class, so I think they might have missed an opportunity there not having Dragoncraft in their initial Glory Finder set. But of course, better late than never, and I'm glad we're getting more Glory Finder starter decks. I'm not sure if I'm going to be picking things up because I'm not a huge Glory Finder player, and I'm not really sure if the Glory Finder like format is doing the best. But I know it's kind of pushed in events, so if you want to do something as a side event, go ahead and have a really decent Glory Finder starter deck and have some fun with other players. Alright, so I can't take it anymore. I've been kind of going down the list of how I've organized things and how it is on the website, but I'm going to go a little bit out of order here. Let's talk about this restriction list. Now, is it just me, or was the next restriction we were supposed to get on Gingerbread House? I'm not sure if that's 100% true, or the timing of everything, but I know the next thing I was expecting was like a Gingerbread House hit. But seeing this little Dragoncraft card, I don't know what's going to be coming for the crossover set here, but this card probably would have been a bit dangerous. And I've been doing a bit of digging, and I watched Shintoverse's video. I don't know if you guys check out Shinto, but I suggest that you go ahead and do that. I'll put his link down in the description below. A very good content creator, a very good card game player. But on top of that, I feel like this is not going to fix the problem. I don't know how initially the problem's going to be, but what I've been hearing from everybody is, oh yeah, this doesn't really do that much, this isn't going to change that much. You can't really take things out of the starter deck because the starter deck is what comes in a full package. And if you start removing things from the starter deck, it's going to feel like, okay, well, I got into this and it's not even at full power. Like, what am I playing this for? So I'm hoping for the future that this getting restricted to one can make everything a little bit fair and balanced. But at the end of the day, I'm just hoping everything works out and we're not going to have a very broken Vanguard deck. But moving on into some Glory Finder restrictions, we have a very broken combo that is going to be one or the other for the decks. So I was wondering when somebody was going to be breaking this combo. So here is the combo. You run out running the Encroaching Heat as your Glory Finder card. You either need to seed Deepwood Anomaly or you need to seed Maid Leader before turn 9. And as long as you are able to see one of these two cards, you're going to at least beat somebody that does not have Ward. And now that we're going to be having the Forestcraft Leader as one of the cards that's going to be using Deepwood Anomaly as one of your Glory Finder cards, I'm glad now that they have the restriction of you can use either one or the other. You can't just blatantly remove somebody out of the game. And like I said, I'm not a huge Glory Finder player, but I promise to you, if you did this to me at a side event, I would not be happy with you. So I'm glad that they're looking at Glory Finder and making sure that everything is still fun and balanced and everything. I know Glory Finder has a lot of crazy concoctions that you can come up with, and I know you don't really draw that much in Glory Finder, or at least if you cater your deck to drawing a whole bunch, then albeit to you, but I think Glory Finder has some crazy concoctions, and I think this is only the surface level of the broken things that you can create. Alright, so enough about Glory Finder and our regular standard Shadowverseevolve. We have our first little bit of crosscraft content here on the channel. So it seems Tin Soldier is going to be restricted to one per deck. I am not very versed in crosscraft, and I know crosscraft is very interesting because I personally think that Abyss and Rune initially should have been the classes that conjoined for crosscraft, because you have the Spell Chain 10 and the Necrocharge 10, easy thing that you can accomplish. Alright, so it looks like Tin Soldier is going to be restricted to one. It seems like in the Fable decks, if you mash in all the crafts together, you can probably create a really broken Fable deck while running the 3 Tin Soldiers, so probably only having the one of it will make it a little harder. So I'm very glad that they're looking at the other formats and kind of balancing them out. Now, I personally don't know how this combo would have worked, but I would have enjoyed to see how the interaction would have been super broken and unfriendly. But alright soldiers, getting into the next set of news, we have our Showdown Series 4. So they made a whole bunch of promises in the Winter Conference, and I am glad to see that they are delivering here. Alright, so these are the cards that you're going to be getting for Participation Top 8 and Champion, and my oh my, these cards look so good. Like, that Soul Conversion looks so beautiful, and that Dragon Oracle is insane. Just remember that our Series 4 runs from April to May. And just like they announced, soldiers, we are going to be having our Series 4, and these are location and dates for them. So in the English Conference Winter 2025, if you guys managed to miss that update video that I did, or the conference itself, they did say Grand Showdowns will now be taking place simultaneously all across the regions. So Series 4 is going to have these locations here for North America, Latin America, Europe, Asia, and Oceania, and they're all going to be on the same date. So of course we're going to have pros and cons for these things. So the first pro is I'm glad that they're all going to be happening. The con, on the other hand, is I'm not going to be sure how coverage is going to go. I really did enjoy watching the Someren Grand Showdown, and for these other events, I'm not going to be sure how they're going to cover them all at the same day or the same time like that. And there's going to be the kind of confusion of which one do I want to watch. And of course, initially you want to be super comfortable with what you're watching, so of course you're probably going to watch in your region, but at the same time, you know, different Grand Showdowns are going to have different decks, and that's just going to be a lot to cover. So yeah, I hope they're going to be doing some sort of stream for all of these events, and I'm hoping things are just going to get covered. But like they said in the conference, we are going to have participation pricing with a participation fee. So when getting the participation fee, we have $40, but we'll be getting the deck box, the playmat, and a very exclusive card. And I'm not going to lie to you, I think this is pretty worth. Just getting a Grand Showdown playmat just for being able to participate is pretty nice. And then you also get a storage box with an exclusive card for whatever Grand Showdown you're going to participate in. So at least I didn't go there to get a maybe $10 or $5 promo for traveling all that distance. I at least get to go away with a playmat and a storage box I can use for the rest of the year if I take care of it. And then I have the promo card to use in whatever deck, or, you know, to just trade if I need to. But of course, when going through the Series 4 Grand Showdown, let's talk about the top cut prizes. Alright, and I'm personally liking these Series 4 prizes. Like, I enjoyed the version of this top 32 Nature's Guidance, But I'm glad there's a more accessible version for the participation version of it that you can probably get 3 of easier than getting a one that's in top 32 that has that alt art and stuff like that. But do look forward to these cards when set 10 rolls around, because we have the advanced feature on the top 8 there. So of course we won't be seeing this until around set 10 comes around. But alright soldiers, we made it through all the recap here. I'm very glad that they are progressing with the game and they're putting out as much information as they can give us as soon as possible, because we have like a good months away before the Vanguard crossover set, and we have set 9 right around the corner, and then we have set 10 that's right after that. So we have a lot that's coming, so I'm very excited to play all these games with you guys and have a very good time, because what is Shadowverseevolve if we're not having fun? But alright soldiers, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I had a very fun time going over these Grand Showdown recaps with you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight, and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. To make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, TRINN just to get